Hello, I'm Dieonik, and welcome back to Let's Play Love is Strange. So, we are arriving with Victoria. I got my hair did, and there's another thing here that you can't see, but I actually have a different microphone set up because of co-op stuff that's coming in the future. Yeah. So, anyway. By the time Victoria pulls into Blackwell parking lot, it's already nighttime. Which means we spent pretty much the whole day together. That's actually pretty weird. I mean, it's not every day you get to hang out with the Queen Bee of Blackwell. With absolutely no problems, or anything. I actually had a really nice time. Shopping with Victoria was still pretty grueling on my poor heart. And my wallet. Apparently, like, we bought her a box of cookies. Yeah, that was super expensive. But aside from Victoria's gift, it's not like I bought anything pricey. Yeah, exactly. Aside from Victoria's gift, whatever. Alright, okay, whatever. Victoria made sure of that. Just thinking about it makes me feel a little off. But not in a bad way. Kind of in a really confused way, or really worried. Mostly for Victoria's health. She wouldn't normally shop for a beat-down hipster. Okay, would she? But the more I spend time with But the more time I spend with her, the more I see she's not as terrible as she fronts. As she parks the car, I peer over at her. She's tapping her nails against the steering wheel, seeming a little distracted. Or maybe not really distracted, just more like lost in her thoughts? Maybe she's thinking along the same lines as I am. Same lines I am. Whatever, there was an as. For once, we might be on the same page. No, really, we might be, because now that I'm listening to whatever's coming out of the radio... Is that side matters? Seed? Seed matters? Matters? Seed matters? I don't know that band. You actually listen to them? What? Victoria straightens a little in her seat, glancing over at me. So she was distracted. Nothing. Just surprised you listened to that. Aren't they a little hipster for you? They're too hipster for me. I don't even know. They're so underground. I don't even know who they are. Aren't they a little hipster for you? I can't help but take the opportunity to tease her. It feels right, even if Victoria could probably tear into me at any given second. Victoria stares at me and then huffs. Watch yourself, Max. I'm just saying, I listened to it. I listened to it? Listen to them? Listen to... I don't know. And you know, I'm kind of a hipster. At least according to you and all your Vortex Club friends. You mean friends. Sure, Victoria. Victoria narrows her eyes. It's almost fun to rile Victoria up. She gets super defensive, fishing for the best insults. Well, usually. Lately, I feel like she's really been toning it down. Well, because you're partners, and you went on a super romantic date together, where she pampered you by buying you clothing, and I assume lunch? Dinner? Breakfast? Probably all of the meals, because you spent all day together. My mouth is extremely dry, which makes it very hard to read, by the way. First of all, you're not kind of a hipster, you are one. Don't compare me to a spectacle like you, okay? Secondly, the door's open. You know, feel free to get out, 'cause it's not like I'm keeping you trapped in here. You're supposed to be romantic, Max. You're supposed to lean in for a kiss and tell her that you're happy that you spent all that time together, and thank you for the new clothes and all of that sweetness. That's true. But I can't really go yet. Not until I give her this present. That's pretty cute, too. I know, I have a really good reason for not leaving yet. Unless you're kicking me out. Victoria furrows her brow and turns to me, interested. I'm actually not. So, is that an invitation to stay? I think you know it is. It's just going cross-eyed for a minute. I rub at the back of my neck. For the same reason, the question makes me nervous. It's probably just because I still have to give her her gift. I don't even know if she's going to actually like it. Victoria stares at me and rolls her head to the side. I guess. But before I have to deal with whatever nonsense you're going to come up with, Max, they have like these weird, like, okay, so Max says something, and then there's like this weird kind of inside dialogue, and then they continue their conversation, and I'm like, what were we talking about again? I don't know. What's going on? They've been doing that a lot in the Victoria thing, not so much in the Kate thing. I wonder if they're different writers. It seems like different writing for this versus the Kate thing. I don't know if they're the same writer or not, but it seems to flow a lot different. So I kind of like, I'm like, okay, what's going on again? In my mind, but whatever. We're just gonna go with it, and you guys get to enjoy it at least. Maybe, if I don't fail miserably. But before I have to deal with whatever nonsense you're going to come up with, Max, let me get at least a little comfortable. I don't entirely understand what she means by that, until she leans forward, pressing down on some buttons in her car. Is she reclining her seat so you can... You imagine whatever you want. I'm not gonna do it for you. Oh. I breathe out in a half surprise exhale as the roof of Victoria's car literally starts sliding back. Okay, exposing the night sky to us alongside the gleam of the parking lot lights. I crane my neck back to watch the rest of the convertible ceiling roll back, feeling almost stupid that I didn't notice it before. Of course Victoria would have something super fancy like this. It stops with a click, and I blink a few times, shaking my head, and I look back to Victoria. I don't know when she got them out, but now she's holding a carton of cigarettes. Hand halfway down to pick at one. Okay, I don't think Max smokes. I mean, she might smoke the Mary Joanna, but I don't think she smokes cigarettes, or at least would be something new they added for this, I think. Don't sound so surprised. Sorry, you just kinda caught me off guard. Victoria gives me a small laugh, a half scoff. Most people are. All she does is light up her cigarette, taking a long drag off of it. Victoria reaches next to her, and, oh, she's bringing the seat back just so she can lay down. Okay, and stare at the stars while she smokes her cigarette in comfort. She looks so comfortable, it's almost surprising. And I'm left wondering if I should do the same or not. If you're going to stay, don't just sit there like a dork. I'm surprised she didn't flirt with you. Like her whole thing with Jefferson, and the main thing was like, oh, wink, wink. We can be good together if you just ensure that I win. And I'm surprised that she's not like, hey Max, as long as you let me win or help me win, we can be good for each other, Max. If you're going to stay, don't just sit there like a dork. Recline your seat! She gestured to my seat, and I carefully follow suit, my hand fumbling to find the lever to push the seat back. There's probably not a lever in a fancy car. There's probably like a switch somewhere, like on the dashboard in front of you. Before I can get comfortable, though, she clears her throat. And just make sure no one is coming or something. What? You can't be seen with me? She smirks. Maybe. I roll my eyes, but I'm not exactly too offended. Maybe it's because you're on a date and she doesn't want anyone, like, maybe she's not out publicly. Or maybe she doesn't want anyone to know that you're dating. Leaning on my elbows, I check for any familiar figures in the surrounding area. It's just us. I don't see anyone out there. Not even one of the security guards, which is probably for the best. I don't exactly need David grilling me about this. Especially when you're in a committed relationship with his daughter and her girlfriend. Don't judge me. You all know that I'm okay with my OT3. Even though I'm not entirely offended, it still makes me wonder. Am I seriously that bad? No, you're just on a date and she might not be out yet. Or she doesn't, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. Maybe there's like a status thing. Yeah, well, there's definitely a status thing. Probably. I don't know if Victoria buys into that. She might. It was never really covered. I frown, rubbing at the back of my arm. Rubbing at my arm? There's no back of your arm. Whatever. I kind of feel like I haven't really been too on par with Victoria today. It hasn't been too terrible, but I definitely feel like I could be doing better. What? Victoria hesitates. Ah, God. Don't get like that on me. If it makes you feel better, you're shockingly not as terrible as those god-awful selfies you take. That doesn't make me feel any better. I groan quietly. Just get out. Just get out and walk away and be like, Vicky, you blew it. We could have been good together, girl, but you blew it. Thanks. After I'm confident that no one is milling around, I settle back down against the leather seat, flopping onto my back. The coast is totally clear. Victoria hums with approval. Since I've got nowhere to put my hands, I rest them both on my stomach, staring up blankly at the sky. So, are you going to let me in on whatever you're planning? I stiffen up slightly, biting my lip at the reminder of the gift in my bag. I wasn't expecting you to actually remember. Are you kidding me? My memory isn't that awful. I slide one of my hands over the bag, shrugging weakly. I really hope the cookies were a good choice. I really hope the cookies were a good choice. Yeah, but my gift probably is... The thought is kind of depressing, but Victoria's watching me warily, eyes darting down to my bag. Okay, it's not a bomb, is it? Very funny, Victoria. Yeah, because they just have the bomb shop downtown. You just walk in and buy your bomb and go meet your friend outside and just keep it in there ticking away all day. Very funny, Victoria. Victoria doesn't ease up at all, still watching me intently. She even turns to face me, leaning on her elbow and everything. In spite of myself, I smile, a little at the sight. There was a loud bloop. Thank you, loud bloop. So, spit it out already. I guess it's now or never, not that I really have a choice. Earlier, when we were shopping, and you bought me that outfit, I will read like this from now on. Immediately, Victoria looks at, a little peeved that you're bringing up the gift that she bought you. Are you going to bring this up again? I already told you. See, she's Vegeta. Can you actually let me finish? I cut her off before she can tell me to forget about it, and she narrows her eyes, taking a long drag with no further comment. I got you something. You did what? Victoria seems like she's at a loss for words for just a second. Even after I specifically told you you didn't have to worry about paying me back. All I can do is shrug my shoulders, fingering the strap. Strap on my bag anxiously. I just wanted to say thanks. I didn't really expect that. It was a really nice gesture. And it's not like I got you anything big, just a little something. Victoria averts her gauge, covering her mouth with her hand. Alright, fine. What is it? It's now or never, Max. You said that. Would you just do it? Max, you can do this. It's just Victoria. I sit up a little to reach into my camera bag and pull out a tin box of assorted cookies from earlier. I know you like cookies, so... Seriously? How could I not? After finding them in her room after snooping around once. I'm trying to remember if time travel was required to get inside of her room. And I'm wondering, like, how did you get inside of her room? I slide it over to her, and Victoria hesitates, and then takes it from my hands, staring at the top of it. Oh my god! You don't expect me to actually eat all these, do you? Share them with me. I grin a little. Are you saying you're not a cookie monster? Victoria gives me another disgruntled look. I'm surprised when she already tears away the plastic around the corners, prying off the tin. She's a goddamn cookie monster. That's what that means. You're a goddamn cookie monster. Inside, there's a bunch of different cookies lined up all neatly. Yeah. No, take one. Huh? No, that's for you. I know how gifts work, Max. She'll get to see your clothes later, or I don't know, to wear your clothes, take your clothes off, one of those. You're taking a cookie, she can have a garment off of you or something. Some kind of scenario that sets up with some like heavy bass funk music and really, really bad acting. You all know what I'm describing. She nudges my arm gently with the box, and I have to sit up a little. Take one, seriously. This time, I don't argue. I just grab one, popping it into my mouth and watching Victoria do the same. She caps it again, turning to shove it in one of the bags in the back. The chocolate tastes sweet against my tongue. Okay. Now that the weight of the whole situation is gone and Victoria hasn't kicked me out, I take the chance to press my head back against the leather seat of her car, closing my eyes and resting the hands back against my stomach. I don't hear Victoria move, but that's fine. All I can hear is her smoking next to me, and the radio blaring softly with another Sid Matters song. This is definitely how their album was meant to be enjoyed. Score. It's oddly relaxing just sitting here in Victoria's car, with the wind brushing over us, brushing against us. I know we're just at Blackwell, but here it kind of feels like we're in our own little world. Just us and the music laying down underneath the night sky. Max? It's Victoria who breaks the silence. I don't actually mind too much, really. I turn my head to the side, opening my eyes to look at her. She's on her back now, one arm behind her head, her other hand over her mouth. The cigarette tucked between her fingers is just about out, and I wonder if she's going to light up another one. Did you? Victoria starts to say something, and I see this crease between her brows as it tapers off into an unintelligible mutter. Huh? What was that? Victoria blows out a breath through her mouth, all smoke. It's distracting. Never mind. It was something entirely stupid. All that does is make me even more concerned. Victoria doesn't usually censor herself, at least not this openly. I bet it's not. It is. Come on, Victoria. I say stupid things all the time. Constantly, even. I'm voice acting for Max, so yeah, you're constantly saying stupid crap, Max. Good job. I think I'm winning. Not that I'd call what I do voice acting, in case anyone was thinking I was any kind of serious. I think I'm winning. Because Victoria's lips form an amused smile at the words. That's a good point. She shuts her eyes briefly, expression falling apart again. Fine. There's a beat of silence, and Victoria sits up briefly to throw her cigarette outside on the pavement. Did you have a good time? Did you have a good time? I had a good time. Oddly enough, that's the last thing I expected from her. There's that crease between her brows again that I could have easily mistaken for concern. Or no. I think it really is concern this time. I almost forgot to respond, the idea making me still with surprise. Oh, still! Like, not moving, not still as in, I'm still surprised. Okay. Huh? That's it. That's it? Sorry, there was a question mark there. The muscles in Victoria's jaw stiffen, and she shoots me an annoyed glare. What do you mean that's it? No, nothing bad. You were just kind of acting like it was something worse. This time, I'm positive it's not the moon playing tricks on me. There's this flush on her cheeks. It might be from anger, but I'm not totally positive. I'm not totally positive about a lot of things, especially regarding Victoria, especially in regards. Yeah, I did. Yeah, we definitely did have a good time, I think. Well, I mean, it was kind of, we only got a little small section, but we can assume if they spent the whole day together, it was a good time, right? Yeah, I did. Why are you asking me? Did you? I kind of want to say, did you? But I also want to say, yeah, I did. Because I kind of think that they probably did. I don't know. I worry that this is going to turn into I asked you first. So I'm going to say, yeah, I did. Well, yeah, I did. I just wasn't really expecting any of that. That's it? There's this dip in her voice like that reflected my question back at me. Dip in Victoria's voice that surprises me. And I tilt my head a little at her. Huh? Victoria shakes her head and says nothing for a second. Forget it. I can't just forget it. Not when it seems like she doesn't believe me. She has to know I'm telling the truth. I really did. I had a really good time, Victoria. I'm not surprised. It's a shock, though. We didn't really used to get along, right? I have to stop myself for a second there. Didn't used to get along. Does that mean we're getting along now? I think that's exactly what that means. And it was actually really fun to see you do your whole fashion thing. Victoria is watching me cautiously. Does she not believe me? After a second, I see some tension drain from her bunched up muscles, shoulders falling back against the leather of her seat. Thanks, Max. I try. No problem. It's worth it just to see how... I feel like this moment is like the best portrait of Victoria we've had so far, or at least the Victoria that we got to see in Life is Strange, because it was like there was a mutual respect with her at some point, and that was kind of as intimate as you guys got, is kind of this, oh, okay, no, we're good sort of feeling, and I really like that. I like that it flowed in this direction. It's worth it, just to see her relax, or just to see how relaxed Victoria is. I couldn't have imagined she'd be so worried over something so small. Victoria finally sits up, though, bringing down her mirror and brushing at her hair. I was gonna say blushing at her hair. Oh, my hair is so nice. Okay, that's totally Victoria's voice. We should probably go back inside before Wells finds us and starts bitching. Or even worse, Madison. I laugh a little at that, taking the initiative and pulling myself up too. David can be a pain in the ass, yeah. Victoria stops fixing herself in the tiny mirror. Do I want to know why you sound so familiar with him? Well, I'm kind of dating his daughter and his daughter's girlfriend, so yeah, I mean, that's why we're so familiar. Maybe not, it's a long story. Or, just a bunch of tiny ones. Dating his daughter and her girlfriend. Who happens to be my girlfriend too, probably. I could never resist getting into shenanigans with Chloe. After all, Victoria just shakes her head. Weirdo. I don't want to hear about your weird escapades with our security guard. It's not like that. Don't put it like that. Victoria flashes me another award-winning smirk and then picks up her purse. Hurry up already. I'd like to sleep by a reasonable time tonight. Victoria is already way ahead of me, taking a hold of the bag behind us and leaving me to pick up whatever's left. That's pretty cute. Like, I feel like it was a very cute, like, I used to go on, long drives with my exes, and my exes, because I'm not together with anyone that I've gone for a long drive with, so it definitely worked out, guys. Definitely go on car trips every opportunity you get with your loved ones. Yeah, and I remember how awesome it was just to spend the whole day together, you know? And that whole kind of feeling. I like the feeling of this. After everything we've done today, I actually can't wait to get into bed, too. Okay, so that was the scene change, and usually I stop at scene changes. I wonder if we're sleeping in my bed or hers. Okay, anyway, yeah, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, comment on what you think of the game, what you think of the romance, what you think of Victoria's character, because you didn't really get a really good feel for Victoria or Rachel in the game, because most of the time Victoria was being like a really defensive ass, and then like the small times that you got to see, you know, behind the veil, it was like that mutual kind of respect that, you know, you kind of just saw there. And then with Rachel, like, you just heard stories about her from other people. So it's really interesting to see what they did with it, and let me know what you think, and if you think the characters are accurate, if you like the way they're written, all that jazz. Yeah, so go check out the other videos I've done, and I will see you soon. Yeah, I bared it down. Ooh, Brian Goodwin. Okay, well, now he knows who you are.